News with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
So 3 frontline healthcare workers have mysteriously fallen out of hospital windows in Russia over the past 2 weeks. 2 of those healthcare workers are dead. 1 remains hospitalized. The incidents made national headlines with media reports saying all 3 of them had come under pressure from their superiors over working conditions amid this pandemic.
You know, it's got to be weird when you fall out of a window from a hospital. Do you think the guys show up in an ambulance and go, let's put him in the ambulance and drive him to the front? And then his partner goes, why don't we just walk it? It's like 30 feet. And then his buddy goes, you know, we don't get paid unless we pull up. And then someone goes, but the walk to the ambulance is further than, right. But don't you want to roll those sirens and the pump and the... I don't know. I feel like we could just walk it over. Like, what do they
By the way, while you're debating this, he's dying.
Right.
I'll bet there's some regulation or some rule, like you said, they don't get paid unless the guy goes in the ambulance.
Well, what if one of those guys actually fell into an ambulance? Does that piss anybody off?
Interesting.
Is there a union thing about that?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like you've been on the set. You know what it's like when you tell the grip to go move the van and the teamster gets all pissed off. We could have that situation.
Yeah.
Well, medical workers all over Russia have been speaking out about protective gear shortages, questionable infection control procedures that turned dozens of hospitals into virus hotspots.
Hey, can I say this? Sorry. Teamsters, if you guys pick a job that my fucking 13-year-old daughter could do, don't get all bent out of shape when somebody does it for you. You know what I mean? Like, I'd say the same thing to dentists. If I walked up to a dentist and went like, hey, you're not going to be working today, my son's going to do it, or I'll do it myself, like, then fuck you. You don't know how to do anything. Teamsters, you sit in a van all day with the air conditioning running, and anyone on that set can do what you do because all you do is put the van and drive and back it out and go up the street and turn around again. So you can't get pissed off when people do your job. If anyone can do your job, get a job that other people can't do. Sorry.
So many said they've been threatened with dismissal or even prosecution for going public with these grievances. Russian media outlets are claiming these falls were either suicide-related or carelessness from sitting too close to the window. But one was ruled, one they're saying it was a suicide because the pressure of her job was too much, or she had somehow failed her staff, so she jumped out the window. I don't know.
I don't know either, but
3 falls out of a window in 2 weeks for people who spoke up against the government.
Is Russia, China, and North Korea all just on creatine now? Like, are you fucks are getting crazier as we head past 2020? You guys are all going nuttier? You're getting more evil and more diabolical and more fucked up as we go on? Like, shouldn't you be kind of coasting to a stop, you know, and, enjoying Pearl Jam and Levi jeans, you know, and starting to kind of
apple
one
pie
world. Yes. Like, I mean, when you talk to guys from Ford or guys who run giant manufacturing, you know, it's like they'll go Mustang. It's a global brand now. We used to just we'd sell them in North America, but now we sell them in Europe, and we incorporated some of the European flavor, and it's like it's one world now. It's one Mustang. What's up with Russia and China and North Korea? What's up with these guys? Middle East, I'm talking to you. Like, what year is it? Can we just fucking... Everyone wants to watch some fucking TV and go to an amusement park and eat a snow cone. Like, can't we just have a good life here? What's up? Why are we doing this? Why is it still like, Russia's still doing whatever? Or, you know, Otto Warmbier, he came back. He was in a vegetative state. Like, why do we need it? Well, he stole a poster. Like, what is going on? What year is it? Why can't people get their shit together?
Well, and like you've said before, Adam, dudes are supposed to mellow out as they get older, right? Why are they, the chicks are the ones that are supposed to go a little crazy? What's going on?
I don't know. Well, they call it Mother Russia, so find a mirror, bitch.
That's right.
Oh, pajalaste, Adam. Well, speaking of amusement parks, Six Flags theme parks are looking to reopen this month in several states as a lot of these shelter-in-place mandates are loosened, lifted. However, to do this, they're going to have to plan major guidelines that will limit any spur-of-the-moment roller coaster riding, essentially. So the theme park's website says guests who want to visit a Six Flags location will have to make reservations in advance. In addition to that, they will be conducting temperature checks at entrances, requiring guests to wear face masks, which may be hard on a roller coaster. Meanwhile, other theme parks like Disneyland, Disney World, they don't even have a target date of reopening yet.
Well, a couple things. First off, going on spin out and then yakking into a face mask is going to be fucking horrible. More people are going to go full like Keith Moon and choke on their own vomit.
Wow.
Because you yak into a face mask and you suck it back up and you inhale it and you die of pneumonia the next day. That's number one. Number two, anyone who is lining up to go on the roller coaster Colossus is fine. There is no elderly. There's no at risk.
No
there's
heart condition.
No morbidly
No
obese. There's just a bunch of skinny 19-year-old dudes who want to kick ass. So I wouldn't even screen the people that want to go on Colossus. You want to go to the petting zoo? All right, we'll scan your forehead. You're going on Colossus. You are fine.
God, I miss going on Colossus.
Does everybody get their own Ferris wheel? I'm serious. How does the social distancing work?
I do like that.
Here's my prediction: when Disneyland does reopen, and I'm sure they're going to do the, because everyone's doing they're going to scan you for temperature, take your temperature at the door. You know what I mean? If you get turned away, if you're 100 degrees or above, you're going to see a lot of videos, a lot of cell phone videos of kids from fucking Kansas and God knows where getting turned away on their trip to Disneyland. It is going
crying.
It is going to be a real phenomenon.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about these temperature scans because there's a lot of them in the news right now. Southwest Airlines urging TSA to conduct temperature checks on all passengers before boarding flights. Casinos trying to figure out how to reopen. They're talking about technology where that would scan customers for a fever, and if you have 100.4 or above, an alarm would sound. They would run more tests. And now out of China, a startup company has developed a pair of glasses that lets you see the temperature of people around you. Equipped with an infrared sensor and a camera, the glasses allow users to conduct these contactless temperature measures. And now they're asking for another round of investments for an upgrade so you can, like a Terminator or RoboCop or whoever, you can scan the whole room and take many people's temperatures at one time.
Wow. Nice.
What's the Rowdy Roddy Piper movie, Brian?
They live.
They live. That's what it is. He had a special pair of sunglasses that could
For temperature?
It's interesting. He had a pair of like Wayfair sunglasses
No,
or Ray-Ban.
the glasses allowed him
to see the monsters or to see who the aliens were.
There's also another kind.
He was wearing who were living among us.
Right.
There's another kind for older people, the glasses where you can look around a room and see every man's PSA of their prostate. Okay?
Oh, really?
Why do we need this? I don't understand.
Well, first thing, if they say people can be carrying it and asymptomatic. Right. So if you're just young and healthy and carrying it and asymptomatic, then I don't know what the temperature thing is going to do.
And on the other side of the coin, you could just be sick and not have coronavirus.
Right.
We can
and somebody, right. It'd be funny. It'd be a funny sketch to like show them doing the infrared sensor where they put it on your forehead and at the TSA as the chick is telling you have to throw out your shampoo because it's over 4 ounces and you're like, this is medicated shampoo and I've already used half the bottle so there's only 2 ounces and you see the red getting redder, getting brighter and brighter and hotter and eventually steam starts coming out. You see the meter cracking as the person's going, sir, should I call my supervisor? And you're like, all right.
That's right.
Funny bit.
So a British doctor who's basically the equivalent of Dr. Anthony Fauci, but in England, he was forced to resign in disgrace. He broke quarantine to rendezvous with his married mistress. Neil Ferguson had advised the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who did have coronavirus, and everybody to stay locked down. Social distancing rules went into effect because of Dr. Ferguson. He regularly lectured the nation, stay home, save lives. Then he got caught breaking the guidelines. Ferguson welcomed his lover multiple times into his family's home. She sneaked away from her family, her husband and children, for these late night sexcapades. And he got caught, and now he's not Fauci anymore.
All the lockdowns are all well and good until either the straight guy gets a boner or the lesbian needs her roots dyed, and then all bets are fucking off. This guy was the guy who was like, hey, here's the guideline. He like invented this quarantining thing. It's like, hey, I'm the grandfathers. Everyone stay in, lock it down. You know, he's banging his guma.
Yeah.
And he was infected too.
That's right. And if you listen to John and Ken, quite the alarmist, medical leader of the country, with some facts that he didn't get necessarily quite right. So it's like, well, I don't know what to believe, and I don't even know what you believe.
Well, what you don't need when you're banging someone else's wife in your apartment is everyone walking around with their head on a swivel, right?
Go about your business.
Yeah, what do you want? Her husband going by in a Schwinn going, hey, why is a car parked out front? Like, no, lock it down, and then you come over to my place.
That's right.
Right.
So I don't know if you've heard, but, there's talking about beef shortages, meat shortages now because so many of these meat processing plants are closed or closing or, furloughing. And TMZ reports that Wendy's is taking burgers off the menu at many locations because of this. Several Wendy's locations across the country experiencing this big meat shortage. And you think, well, why Wendy's? Why not all the other places? Well,
the shape. It's the shape.
Yep, that's
the square
right.
cows.
Got to be the square cows.
Close. It is sort of proprietary for Wendy's. It's that they boast that it's fresh beef, never frozen, and that's screwing up their supply chain when it doesn't screw up, frozen meat shippers.
Mm-hmm.
So you get chicken and fries.
Is In-N-Out frozen? I guess In-N-Out is frozen.
I would imagine so.
So I'd like to go to the folks at Wendy's and go, fresh, never frozen is nice, but everyone loves the frozen shit evidently better up the street. Like, I've driven past the Wendy's drive-thru, and there's 3.5 cars in it. There's like 3 cars in a moped. You go to the fucking In-N-Out, there's 44 cars going around the block. Maybe we should think about freezing our beef. That's all. You use your own argument against you.
That's right. Well, we touched on Elon Musk yesterday. We talked about how he and Tom Cruise are in talks about a space movie. And that's not all the Elon Musk news lately. There's a lot more. First of all, they just had a kid. We talked about that. His 6th son, his first child with singer Grimes. I don't know if you saw what they named the child, but that's not going to last because that name isn't legal in the state of California.
Yeah, it was like COVID-19-12- something. It's like numbers and symbols and things, right?
XAEA-12 essentially. And the California judge says, no, you cannot name your child that. It doesn't fall within the parameters of the 26-letter alphabet. Grimes put on her Twitter why they came up with that name because I was curious. It says X is the unknown variable. AE sort of mashed together. That's my Elven spelling of I, or love, or artificial intelligence. A12 was the precursor to the SR-17. That's their favorite aircraft. No weapons, no defenses, just speed, great in battle, but non-violent. And then something about plus Archangel, my favorite song, Metal Rat. So they're going to have to come up with, Steve or Jeff.
Well, what about just, what would a nickname be for somebody with a name like that?
Yeah.
You just give a single-digit number, or is it Max? Yeah.
You turn into Prince.
Yeah, I don't think it's Dutch. But, the SR-17, or SR-71 is the nickname for the SR-71 is the Blackbird. 17. SR-17. Mm-hmm. That is the Blackbird.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's a better name than A12X.
I would just call the kid Blackbird.
71, right?
It is 71.
She put on Twitter 17. I'm reading off of her Twitter.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that plane is the SR-71. I wonder why he did 17. Anyway.
It could have been a typo. But that's not all the Elon Musk news. And we know sometimes he says some things that may or may not be accurate, but he did announce the other day that he is selling all his physical possessions because they just weigh you down. 2 of his 6 homes that Elon Musk owns in Bel Air, the Bel Air neighborhood of LA, now are appearing on Zillow, the real estate website, for sale. According to Fox News, one of the homes is former home of actor Gene Wilder.
I know that home.
Is it beautiful? It looks beautiful from the drone version.
Wow, I mean, you showed the quick aerial shot of it, and I said, wow, he and Gilda lived in that. That's on Shalon, right?
Yes, on Shalon,
Yes.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I've been in that. I was in that house many times when Gilda was alive. We had dinner there many times. It looks better from the air than it does on the ground, by the way.
Does it overlook like a golf course, or was that a
if you go in the back, you can look down. I think I don't know if it's the Bel Air Country Club, because I get confused when I get up there. It sort of winds around. It's, I know that house.
Well, it's stunning, and at the very least, Elon said that it cannot be torn down or lose any of its soul, whoever is going to buy it. He bought it for $675 million in 2013. He listed it for $975. The other home's a 6-bedroom mansion across the street.
Hold on, 9.75 million? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he bought it for 6.75. It's listing for 9.75.
I'm actually surprised it's that cheap, to be frank with you, given its address and what it is.
Sure.
I know.
Yeah, we'll see what he thinks he can get for it. The other house, has pool, tennis court, Tesla solar panels on the roof. Musk bought that for 17. He wants to sell it for 30. And he has another home in Northern California. And so, again, I believe he has 6 sons now officially, and he says he wants to liquidate all of his stuff. So I don't know if those kids are getting expensive or if he's having some sort of awakening. I don't know.
When you're bright, it's good for a while. Like when you're a genius, it's good for a while. Then your brain starts to eat itself, and that's what's going on. It's like being a super hot blonde. It's awesome when you're 24. When you're 53, it's bad because you're not you still think guys want to bang you wherever you go, and then your whole life becomes about sort of maintenance and dyeing your hair and procedures and everything, and it really ends up becoming more trouble or more work. Like if you take a gal, she's just 4.5, 5, just okay looking, nothing to write home about. That chick's life at 53 isn't much different than it was at 23.
No.
Probably married to the same dude, going about her way, working at the DMV, enjoying what she enjoyed, whatever it is. The 24-year-old hot blonde at 54 is living a different life than she formerly was living.
Unrecognizable.
And now this thing that was the greatest thing ever when you were in college is now a fucking curse. And I say Elon's the same way. Being a super genius when you're 30 is cool. When you're 48, your brain starts turning on itself. It starts fighting itself. Yes.
If this is true, isn't that sort of the natural path? We see it in movies. We see it in some documentaries. This is when you're like, I've tipped the scale. I can't do better than this. Now I have to do the exact opposite to find meaning again in my life.
I got to tell you, it is a daily battle fighting my own genius. Every day I wake up.
Finally, it's explained.
My own genius. And before I go to bed, the last thing I do is do battle with my own genius, because obviously I am in a danger zone. Alan, you're fine. Brian, you guys, no problema. But for the ace man.
No. I'm getting a job at the DMV. I just learned something from you.
Yeah, no, I do think the super ultra intelligent people end up battling themselves a little. I mean, we're just kind of talking about Gary Shandling. I mean, the guy's a comedic genius, but he ended up probably battling himself a lot. I don't know if you would say he was a happy guy, No,
he was a tortured soul. I mean, everyone who knows him knew that about him. And after that memorial, we all walked away thinking the same thing, that if there is a life after this, Gary was ready for it because he had it with this one. And that was the source of his humor. It was the guy who was never really comfortable in his own skin. And that was him.
Well, we're gonna get more out of Elon, and his wife looks a little batty too. I saw some pictures of her.
Yeah, she's a singer and apparently half elf, or at least by her Twitter handle. But wouldn't you? I don't know anything about her, but wouldn't you be a little bummed if you were the wife that lassoed your train to that star, and all of a sudden now he wants to give away all his earthly possessions?
Yeah, except for you may be going to that star. Like you
true.
literally may be going to outer space to live.
That's true. To do a movie with Tom Cruise.
Mm.
So Oregon bicyclists have received some bad news. The world
It's
naked.
funny when you go shoot a movie in outer space and you're like orbiting and you're like, all right, we're setting up our first shoot. Hey, Bob, where's the C stand? Huh? The C stand. We're setting up the lights. Oh, I thought you'd pack the C stand. No, I told you were getting the whole lighting package. Yeah, I don't have any C stands. Normally you have to go out to the cube truck. But in this particular case, like they're going to forget a filter for a lens or something. It's going to be on Earth. It's going to be on Earth.
Circle it back.
Circle it back. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
So the World Naked Bike Ride has been canceled due to COVID-19.
Queen.
And the annual June bike ride, which aims to raise awareness. Now, strap in. It's a couple of things. It raised awareness for dangers cyclists face on the road, while also protesting against society's dependency on oil. So a lot of messages on this bike ride. It's been altered due to the pandemic. It's not over. You're just going to sort of have to do it on your own. According to the website for Oregon's Naked Bike Ride, the collective ride is pivoting to World Naked Bike Ride Day with no start location,
Let me
start
say this.
time.
You know my feeling about the guys who are cult leaders? And it always starts off with, you want to hear a Cat Stevens song on my acoustic guitar, and it always ends up in, I'm going to fuck your daughter, bring your daughter over to my motel room like that. All these like PETAs and all these movements, how come it always involves chicks getting naked? Do you know what I mean? Like I'll go bare before I wear fur. Like some of these, it's like is it just one dude with a boner going, really get our point across? We all just kind of got our tops off, ladies especially. And
I'll go first.
Stood out here. Yeah, let me take my shirt off. All right, ladies. Like they do all have a kind of a nudie theme to them, right?
Naturist.
And is it just the guys running it, like the cult leader? Like, is it really the cause, or is he just want to see some areola? I don't know.
Well, that's a very interesting point, especially since it's not canceled. They're encouraging people to hop on their bikes and pedal around naked on June 27th and just do it on your own. So if you see a naked bike rider, they're either protesting our dependency on oil or awareness of dangers cyclists face on the road.
Well, I'm not normally a doily seat guy, but in this particular case, let's throw something down, folks. You share that bike with a roommate or a child, you're gonna, you know what I'm saying. Queen had a famous album that had a bunch of naked women on bicycles.
Was it for I Want to Ride My Bicycle?
Yeah, that song was on it, and it was like, we can all remember, at least Alan and I can, a day, and Brian sort of halfway, which porn wasn't available. Like a picture of an album cover that had a bunch of naked chicks on it. That was good stuff.
Dude, Blind Faith's album cover, Chris, find that one. I saw that in the music store in like 1991. I was like, what the hell is this? This is a girl with boobs out.
Yeah. Ohio Players had some good stuff.
Don't forget Smell the Glove.
That's right. That's right.
Spinal Tap.
It's not sexist. It's sexy.
I'm still hung up on, I'm not a doily on the seat kind of guy. I had never heard of those kind of guys. But
I'm saying I don't normally take that kind of preparation time before I hop on a bike. But if my bare ball sack is going to be dragging on the seat, then
no, I'm with you.
I would, yeah. Sorry, one more, Gina Graham.
All right. Well, this is a kid after your own heart, Adam. This is a few days old, but it's worth the mention. A 5-year-old Utah boy with big dreams collected his piggy bank, the keys to his mom's SUV, and headed off toward California to buy himself a Lamborghini. So around noon on Monday, we may have a picture, the Utah Highway Patrol pulled this little boy over. They received several 911 calls. The kid obviously couldn't reach the pedals. He couldn't see over the wheel. Steering is all over the road. Officer Nick Street discovered the boy driving 32 miles an hour in a 70 zone. The trooper said, quote, he was determined to get a Lamborghini. He may have been short. He only had $3 in his wallet. And but you gotta admire this kid's moxie.
I do, but could you imagine this kid as your neighbor when he was 19?
Oh, insufferable.
I mean, how many times would that dude be over your fence, stealing your hibachi, fucking with your dog? Like, I mean, this kid's going to be a nightmare, right? Like, it's cool now. Like, it's kind of funny, but really think about this guy's impulse control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're the parents, you've had this kid for 5 years. You know what he's capable of. You don't leave him around an open door in your car keys.
This kid, I predict, goes full Menendez before he sees his bar mitzvah, if in fact he is Jewish at all.
That kid's 5?
Yeah, which I also thought was odd.
That kid's there's no way. Put a picture. That's a fucking middle schooler.
He looks like a 9-year-old, but the reports are that he is 5.
No way.
Okay.
There are kids, by the way, that are big now, and he does not look 5, but there are some husky ass kids bopping around. No, he does look 5, but also at 5, like, if you can't reach the pedals, like, how do you do that? How do you go 32 on the highway? Like, how do you get onto the highway?
I probably
There's
kind
no
of slide
possible
down.
way.
So just FYI, CBS News, Eyewitness News, ABC, Fox 13, all of the headlines: 5-year-old Utah boy found driving family car, 5-year-old steals parents' car, 5-year-old boy gets a ticket. So, I mean, believe it or not, but that's what's being reported.
I think somebody said 5, and everyone else just picked it up and ran with it.
There's no way that kid's 5.
He looks older than 5, but also, really, at 5, you can't do that. And if he is, in fact, 5, then some NASCAR team has to start working with him like a young Tiger Woods at this point. You know what I mean? Because this kid's got he's a ringer. He'll be conquering Daytona at 11 and a half.
He's a prodigy.
Well, if he could get the car started, let's just
back
say
out.
He's 5. Start the car, put it in gear, back it out, get on to the freeway before you get onto that ramp, look left, right, and left again, and then safely merge onto the ramp and get onto the highway and be going 34 miles an hour. I mean, at 5? Yeah, Brian's right. We're going to find out this kid was 9.5 or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have the Queen album. It's called Jazz.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I told you I was at my friend. I didn't have this album, of course, because they charged money for albums. So that eliminated us. But my friend who passed recently, Jeff Katz, his dad had this album. I'd go to his apartment in North Hollywood and just stare at it because it's like 50 bare-ass chicks all naked, right?
Each one hotter than the next.
As good as it got. Yeah.
How'd that work with Freddie Mercury? It's like, all right, we got all the nude chicks. Yeah, okay, I'm going to be inside. Well, don't you want to check them out? Get the good. I trust your judgment.
Yeah.
But those are all naked chicks on a bicycle, and then the Blind Faith one.
That's just a girl with boobs. Imagine pulling that out at age 12 at Tower Records. Like, what?
She looks 12.
Well, she is underage in that. Didn't they have to pull that one down?
An 11-year-old girl with her shirt off, her innocence in counterpoint to the technological toy in her hand.
I think she's dating that dude who stole the car. I don't think that guy's 5.
In my defense, I was 12.
Yeah, no, I get it. I was trying to think of the one. I thought it was the one where there was an underage girl on the. But imagine that time. We're going to get an underage girl, take her shirt off.
But think about Brooke Shields. I mean, nobody seemed to care when underage girls got naked. Between Levi's and Pretty Baby.
Oh my God! You guys have the Blu-ray of you should see the deleted scenes of
the
Pretty Baby.
Oh my.
Yeah, God, it's all we had.
I'm fascinated. Can we see the picture of them on the bicycles again?
Pretty good for any port in a storm, but
Damn.
Not too shabby for back then. All right, Alan, Laugh Lines is the name of the book. So much experience, worked with so many greats. So get that. My life helping funny people be funnier. I love that title. Good to talk to you again, my friend.
Thanks a million for having me, Adam. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You guys can watch my stand-up for free on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/AdamCarolla and watch some free comedy over there if you like. And check out Chassis, CHASSY. We have all our documentaries and other movies there. You can get them in Blu-ray, and I'll sign them and all that for you. Good Sports is coming up. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Alan Swibel and Gina Grad and Paul Bryan saying mahalo.